Hi, this is Danielle Daws with a tutorial for AnnaBelle stamps. I'm going to be showing you a card today that I've made using Backgrounds by Design number 5 and some distress inks. I'm going to be clear embossing Backgrounds by Design onto this white cardstock, and because I'll be using Versamark, it's difficult to see on white cardstock because it's clear. So I've got those post-it notes just in line there so that I can line up the grid. This is a Fiskars stamp press that I'm using, so you can see that I've got it lined up where the post-it notes are, and then once I ink this up again, I'll line up the grid on the other side, just to make sure that everything is nice and even and it doesn't overlap. It's a really easy way of being able to do this, particularly with Versamark because it is clear. So once that's done, you won't be able to see that it's lined up, but you will once I start using the distress inks. So from here I'll use some clear embossing powder. I really love the clear embossing powder from AnnaBelle Stamps. It's a high gloss and it's really easy to work with. So I always sprinkle that on and tap it on the back just to get rid of any excess, and then use my heat gun. And from here we'll start using the distress inks. I'm using 4 different shades of green on this card. The first one I'm starting with is Shabby Shutters. Now you can see that I get lots of ink onto the blending tool and then start off the cardstock. So that's a Ranger craft mat that I'm using there, and it just makes for a nicer blended finish by doing it this way. So I'm doing Shabby Shutters just across this corner. The colour will get a lot deeper than this. And the second colour that I'm using is Peeled Paint. Now I'm trying really hard not to get any of the peeled paint on the Shabby Shutters because I want to create a lovely graduated colour. And so I'll be using Forest Moss down the bottom. But you'll see it will become a little bit more blended as we go. So the third colour that I'm using again is Forest Moss, and just on the alternate corner from where I used Shabby Shutters. And again, going from off the cardstock, circular motions to go on. Obviously I am getting quite a bit of ink on there. You might be wondering, why don't you just put the ink straight on? It just gives a nicer finish to be able to blend it a little bit more evenly if you start from off the cardstock. It's much harder to get it blending on the cardstock if you've got just a splodge of colour right there. So going back with Peeled Paint, and you'll see there that I'm not just adding peeled paint to where the peeled paint was, but I'm blending from where the Forest Moss is. And now with Shabby Shutters, and going up for the lightest part. Now my secret weapon here is that I'm going to add some crushed olive. Crushed olive is a really vibrant green. It's got a lot of yellow undertones, and it's just going to add some extra vibrancy to the greens that are already there. So then I'll cut that to size, mat it on some black cardstock, and add a black embossed sentiment on vellum. Thanks very much for watching.